Springfield did accomplish something, at least, one item, and that is, even though they couldn't agree on a budget, they did agree on a medical marijuana law, a new one, which will add a couple of new diseases, post-traumatic stress disorder, as well as terminal illnesses, which are now on the list for medical marijuana. What's the significance of this, David?
Well, I think it's hard to argue if you're going to have medical marijuana, that those two things, I think, besides the right thing to do, I think the public has slowly accepted medical marijuana in this state, and I think it's hard to argue with someone that's looking at 6 months to live if this is something that gives them a better quality of life, or someone that served their country and is having problems. If this is something that helps, I think, besides being the right thing to do, I think it's interesting that it's just become more accepted.
Sure. I feel really, a little conflicted about this. I realize that there are thousands of people who are incarcerated for the possession and sale of marijuana. We're getting ready to make millionaires out of people who can sell it for medical purposes. What are we going to do about those people that are in jail? And I think that we should really start to think about that as a overall prescription for what we need to do around marijuana in the state.
One of the interesting provisions here is that if you have one of these ailments and it has been diagnosed by a doctor, the doctor doesn't actually need to write a prescription for marijuana. You can get it anyway. Ray, what's the practical impact of that, taking the doctor out of that equation?
Well, of course, everybody's going to be scared. There are people, not everybody's going to be scared, but there is a segment of society who's going to think, wow, the door is open, right? And so that was the battle when this all went through in the legislature. It didn't happen overnight. It happened very slowly, and it was very tightly written. And so we've expanded it now. Governor Quinn, even when he signed it into law, had talked about how he was impressed by the arguments of people who had gone through battle and had suffered the effects.
We're running out of time, but it looks like more people will have access and more money will be made on marijuana in Illinois.